I'm just going to read some dialogue from the part of a movie that just grossed me out the most. Give you a little bit of backstory. The main character, Amy's in a bathroom stall overhearing a conversation by a group of other 11-year-old girls who are in the 7th grade. Oh my God, is he peeing in her mouth? That's gross. That's not gross. That's natural. Natural. I just... I can't. What's up, loves? Jeray Millay, the girl from Runaway, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the horrific, terrible, detrimental to any young girl growing up movie, Cuties, that just aired on Netflix. Cuties is currently number 7 in the country right now. It's currently at a 1.3 on IMDb and 88% on Rotten Tomatoes the last time I checked, or I should say at the time that I'm recording this video. I want to start off by saying that I watched a few clips about the film when the official trailer came out, and there was a lot of controversy, and again just recently today, just to get a feel, overall sense of what people are discussing. I think that a lot of people haven't watched the film, and I want you all to know that the movie is an hour and 36 minutes long. I've watched the film. I kind of skimmed through it just to get a general sense of my own and for my own opinions. And girl, I wish I had not. Honestly, I wish I had not. And I'm saying that to you also, that you don't have to. You know how they say, oh, well, you know, come up with your own ideas or whatever the case may be. I try to understand a part of everything, typically. Like, I can see how that comes together. When the film came out, you know, they said it was well, the official trailer came out, they said it was, you know, a poor marketing decision, yada yada yada. Girl, no, that was a lie. The director of the film is a black woman. Her name is Marimam Danukin. I know I'm saying that wrong, forgive me, or not, because sis, girl, it's a lot. Anyways, I watched a quick snippet of like why she wanted to make the film, and she wanted to talk about like how, you know, as a young girl she felt like women were, you know, victimized, and, you know, people were saying that the story is actually really riveting. It's a burgeoning story of femininity. It's a coming of age story. And one thing we all know about coming of age stories, they can all be a little cringy depending upon how it's done. It has to be done with good taste, right? And then also depending upon how far removed you are from coming of age. Let's keep it real. Now, just to give you all a little bit of backstory, I come from a human service social work field. I worked with juvenile sex offenders, okay? And that was just a small section of my professional career. So I am a little bit desensitized to certain things, and I understand the language that, you know, predators use and look for, the grooming type of techniques and behaviors and languages that we see, and this was all of that. This was all of that and then some. Netflix is not hurting for money. We know that. My only question is, like, why? Like, and I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, or at least I don't really want to talk about conspiracy theorists on this algorithm. But you know what I mean? Like, what is the real reason if not for programming and desensitization of the sexualization of young girls? Like, I don't see any other reason. I'm going to give you guys a quick review. I'm not going to make this video long because I'm going to be very careful with my language in this video, because I understand that, you know, predators get satisfaction from anything depending on whatever, and this ain't that. The main character is a young black girl from Senegal who lives in a poor side in France somewhere. She comes from a Muslim home, Muslim background. Her father's in Senegal. You know, she's the oldest of 2 or 3 children, I think. Beautiful girl. I forgot her name. They say she's really actually 11 years old on Wikipedia, but I found her Instagram, if it's her real Instagram, and they say she's 14. So somewhere between 11 and 14. The other girls, they all look under 13, you know, from my own opinion. But pretty much the movie in the early part of the scenes reveals that the mom is preaching one thing, but she's clearly unhappy. And it seems like, you know, the mom's husband may be taking on a second wife, and you know, the mom is having her own feelings about that. The daughter, being old enough, understands that, you know, my dad is marrying another woman, is hurting my mom. She was crying. She was on the phone trying to pretend that everything was fine. Oh, may Allah be pleased with them, and whatever the case may be, which is a real thing. Like, a lot of women really struggle in polygamy, especially when it's imposed by religion. If it's not a choice, when you feel like you have to by way to in order to have mercy from your creator, you need to be happy with your man being with someone else. They start off talking about how, like, there's so many women to men, so this is why men are allowed to marry several women. You know, and we're not going to have the polygamy discussion here because we're talking about children. But let me know if you're interested in my views on polygamy, because we can go there too. You know, the mom is not happy. The daughter notices it, but she's a woman, an immigrant woman in a foreign city, obviously. And, you know, her husband is, and her religion is telling her that that's what she needs to do. After they're leaving the mosque or the masjid or whatever the case, Amy, which they pronounce Ami, it's so cute. I love that name. Sees a young girl, in the laundromat, and she's literally in tights and midriff shirt, long hair. She's like dancing provocatively, scantily clad, whipping her hair back and forth and doing all of these kind of moves and stuff like that. She notices the same girl at the school the next day, and all of the girls, there were 4 girls, all of them are showing midriff. All of them are wearing heels. All of them are wearing colored hair of some sort. All of them look inappropriately dressed. And before some of you talk about, like, you know, women should be able to wear whatever they want. It's the men who need to be in self-control. I don't disagree with that. But when we're talking about children who are assumed to be in 7th grade, that shouldn't even be up for debate. And also, let me point out that, you know, even if the actors in this film were older than 11, they were said to be 11. So in the mind of a predator, he can run with that fantasy. So it doesn't make it any better. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't even check the ages of all the girls, but from what I'm hearing, they all were about in the ranges between 11 and 14. Every single clip, y'all, every last one of them included a girl or multiple little girls in crop tops, skin tight tights. You know, y'all remember those liquid tights from back in the day? Liquid galaxy tights, or short shorts. Every single scene, with the exception of when they're once or twice in the mosque or the masjid. Trifling, I know. So Amy understands that, you know, her father's going to be marrying another woman. He sends her a dress for the wedding day. They're supposed to be coming back from Senegal. And she's looking at the dress. She's obviously unhappy. She knows that her mom is unhappy. So at the same time, she starts watching videos in the bathroom of, like, twerk videos, okay? Cool. Then in school, the same girls who wear midriff shirts and heels in 7th grade, she's overhearing a conversation while she's in the bathroom stall. The conversation is so graphic and so vulgar. It involves, like, a man peeing in a girl's mouth. They talked about rape. They talked about one of the girls saying that she saw her brother's genitals. So we have so many things here. The grooming language, because the one girl said, that's natural. You know what I mean? No, it's not. I saw my brother's genitals. We're talking about incest. Just a whole bunch of things that are just so wrong. I cannot believe this is on Netflix. I don't even think I should talk about this too much. Like, this, I don't even know, like, if an actual review would be allowed on YouTube. Like, that is how unreal it is, okay? Now, there are pockets of some cultural things that could have been elaborated on more. And we'll get to that in a second. So Angelica is the main character. She's the youngest looking to me, or one of the youngest looking, but she's like the main young girl. She asks the main character to sneak a picture of another boy's, you know, private parts. That's kind of like how their friendship came to be. Angelica actually comes over to her house. She reveals a room. She's like, well, what's that room for? She doesn't even know. Their mom is preparing another bedroom for his other wife. So I'm guessing both of the wives are going to be in the same home. And she's like, wow, this room is fit for a princess. And they have, like, you know, a pillow fight. And if you know anything about anything, you know, pillow fights can be really inappropriate, especially if you have 11-year-old girls in midriff clothing and short shorts. Yeah, it was just a mess. Honestly, y'all, I have some notes here that I wrote from the actual movie, but the more that I'm talking about it and saying it out loud, the more I don't like it. Yeah, I don't even think I want to talk about scene for scene because, again, like I said, predators get their shit off from anything, and I just don't feel comfortable with talking about it now. I changed my mind. And that's what Spirit's telling me to do. Just let that go. But I'm just going to kind of just give it to y'all in a nutshell. There were pockets of some cultural issues that young women may face. Okay, so there was a time when she actually started to get her period, and you know, like, that is a time when you're coming into your womanhood. You're not a woman, okay? You're not a woman when you get your period. You're a young woman. You get what I'm saying? But you're not like a woman fully. Like, you can have a baby. You can do all of those things because your body is of age and your body is mature. But, like, let's be real. Kids are starting their periods way earlier than they were back in the day. I just feel like it's the steroids from the foods and everything like that. But also your mentality. So I think that when they show something like, oh, well, she's on her period, she's a woman, you know, there's more to womanhood than actual, like, a menstruation cycle, right? And when you associate something like, oh, well, she has her period, it's like almost like a justification for her to be, like, sexually active, when that's not the case. I'm in the state of New Jersey, and you can't give consent until 16 years of age. Hey, Siri, what is the age of consent in New Jersey?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the age of consent in New Jersey. Check it out.
Now, granted, if you're 16, you know, I'm sure you've started your menstrual cycle way before then. And I don't like the fact that the movie pushed the fact that once you have your period, that equates you to being a woman. Um, I don't like that rhetoric. I don't like that talk. I don't like anything about that, because it's more than bleeding once a month for you to be a woman, for you to be a woman, then two, for you to decide whether or not you want to become sexually active. Hell, even at 16, you may not even be the best fit to be like, oh, well, I want to make this decision, right? And we all know that it varies state by state. Again, I want to also point out the fact that this movie was produced in France or something like that, and we all know that Europeans have a different perspective in a different way, cultures and customs, than Americans. You know, Americans seem to be more conservative, or at least that's what they say. But and there may be some truth to that to a degree. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I was reviewing HBO's I May Destroy You. I'm going to link that up at the top. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's just your skewed, tiny little American view. Like, you know what I mean? And it may be true. But certain things I feel like should be universal. I don't care. Like, math is a universal language. So should other things be. You know what I mean? Like, the girl is struggling with her identity because it seems like she's overlooked by her parents, who are balancing two different religion, and my man is wanting another woman and being okay with that. And then she's the oldest, and then there's so many other things where I feel like they could have expounded on to actually make it a coming of age story, but it was mostly pandering to the pedophiles. That is what made it so hard to consume. If they would have made the actual story better and stronger and less on the midriffs and the close-ups, girl, the close-ups, then maybe I can see how it could have been received in a better way. But it was like young girls dancing midriff, sexualized comments. One time a girl actually, like, blew up a condom, and then she cried because she didn't really know what it was. Like, it was just so many things wrong with this film. And there were so many opportunities for them to correct it, and they didn't. What they did was put in pillow fight scenes with little girls, put the little girls in midriff shirts, booty shorts, close-ups on fronts and backs. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Really, really bad stuff, y'all. Really terrible stuff. Ugh. Nah. It could have been, but it wasn't. And I feel like it wasn't because that's not what it was designed to do. Period. Okay, so I'm just going to say at the end, the girl was doing the twerk and dance competition, and she like stopped in the middle of it and like ran home to her mom and got a hug from her mom, and then she went outside to actually play. That was like the first time she looked like she was able to be a kid. And that's how the movie ended, which was cool. But it was just like there were scenes of when the little girls were dancing and like men were obviously attracted to their adolescent bodies, y'all. Like, really, honestly, I'm laughing, but I think that's just my reaction to it because it's just terrible. Like, I have a nervous laugh, but like, you know, I think that although it's a shame that they showed that, I do think that people should pay more attention to that. Men and women, because women can be sexual predators as well. We know that, okay? But men, y'all, these men are cringy and terrible. Like, I'm telling y'all, I've seen it with my own eyes, some of these men. And they, it's a sickness, man. It's a sickness. It's a mental health thing, for real. I believe it is. It's a sickness, it's a spirit, it's a mental health thing all wrapped in one. And people need rehabilitation, okay? So I'm not going to do too much shaming when it comes to it because people really need rehabilitation. But before, like any type of rehab, you have to want it for yourself. Triggering. This film was very triggering. There was a scene where the girl was like, boys were approaching them. They were like, "How old are you?" And she was like, 11. She's like, "Why did you tell them we were 11? We're 14. We're 14." Like grooming the girls to lie about their age. And a lot of people think grooming only comes from predators. Y'all, grooming can come from the kids that your kids hang out with because they've been sexually exposed to something inappropriate, okay? Teaching your kids how to lie, teaching your kids to be on their phones on TikTok. That's another thing. They were like propping their phones up and like, you know, doing all these dances, and I see all the kids like doing all this stuff and dancing all crazy. Just protect your kids, but more importantly, before you can protect them, you have to let them know what you are protecting them from. Be real. Start having real conversations with your daughters. Start having real conversations with your sons. You should be having the same equal amount of conversations if you have a girl or a boy, okay? Because it starts at home. You have to let these kids know that it's not okay for you guys to fool around like this. It's not okay for older people, and let them know the reasons why. Okay, it's bigger than because I said so. This is a conversation that you need to go in depth with, so that way they understand that, hey, it's not appropriate for me, for this older man to be, you know, to show interest in me, and I'm only 14. And when you don't have those relationships, or your child feels deprived of attention, she might get that attention from an older man and be like, "Oh, I'm cute. He thinks I'm this." So a lot of this stuff can be curtailed at home, I feel like, but I'm not a parent yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it. Girl, this video is all over the place, but I just had to come and give it to y'all. This is real raw and uncut. I tried to give it to y'all organized, but I don't want to go into the scene by scene. Don't watch the film. Don't watch the film. You don't need to. I really didn't need to. I skimmed through it, like I said. And talk to your kids. Talk to your kids about the real dangers of seeking attention from the wrong type of people, from older people, and always keep the lines of communications open, especially around those budding ages, right? Whew, that's all I got. This shit is too much for a Friday. Anyways, y'all, like this video if anything I said resonated. Don't watch that film. Give this video a big thumbs up. I really, really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel. Let YouTube know what's real. Don't watch that video. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.